if you believe the official rhetoric, the United States is waging some sort of noble war on narco-terrorists in Venezuela. Now, if you believe the headlines from various news organizations, this is some insidious war to capture all of the oil within the Western Hemisphere. Now, both of these are very convenient to the parties at play, but the real reason the USS Gerald Ford is in the Western Hemisphere near Venezuela is something completely different, and it involves China. Now, who am I? I'm Kervin. Spent 20 years in the intelligence community. I worked in intelligence tradecraft in both a covert and overt capacity, and I see things a little bit different than major media would like you to believe. So what am I seeing here? Why would China be involved in any of this? Well, first, you've got to look at deterrence. So one of the major plays with the U.S. government since the start of 2025, and quite honestly, since the 2022 timeframe, is this deterrence against China. There is this belief among the U.S. government and the U.S. military that China is going to make a play at Taiwan to recapture Taiwan and make it a part of China. Now, the U.S. official policy is a one China policy, but unofficially, the U.S. will be there to protect Taiwan. So, where does Venezuela fit into this? First of all, if you want to look at the drug trafficking angle of this, a ton of the pieces to make fentanyl come from China. That then traverses the Indo-Pacific into South America, makes its way to Colombia, through Venezuela. From Venezuela, it then gets pushed up through the borders into the United States. So China is involved there. Now, what about oil? Does China have interest in Venezuelan oil? Absolutely. So Venezuela is one of the major exporters of oil to China, and quite honestly, Venezuela is in economic turmoil at this moment. Now, that being said, is the United States in economic turmoil? Maybe, maybe not, depends on who you believe and who you talk to. But the capturing of oil and the destruction of drug boats, mainly trafficking cocaine, but also fentanyl, is a show of force, not to just to the Maduro regime, but to the Chinese Communist Party and Xi Jinping. It says the U.S. is going to counter anything that China wants to do on the Western Hemisphere. So you see the headlines, you're wondering what to believe, what not to believe. As I have said for months now, this repositioning of the USS Gerald Ford is absolutely a show of force to China to deter China from making a move on Taiwan. But if China does make that move, the USS Gerald Ford is there to make quick traversing from the Caribbean to the Indo-Pacific in order to reinforce those naval assets that will be fighting China in what could become a global conflict, the Third World War. Now, why would the U.S. get involved? Well, you may be thinking, look, I'm sitting in the United States. I love where I'm at. I'm doing pretty good economically. Why do I care what China does to Taiwan? Well, the fact of the matter is, the moment that China makes that move, there will be blockades in place. Those blockades will then affect the U.S. economy. They will affect your pocketbooks immediately. This is something that we all need to identify and we need to track. An analyst that I respect a lot once said, how can you project power from Texas towards China? You absolutely cannot. You have to be there and you have to project that power. So those blockades go into place. your pocketbooks are immediately affected. So it does matter. This is important. Why is Taiwan important? Well, this is where they build the chips that power your cell phones, your laptops, computers, that make the United States a technological powerhouse in the world. This would completely collapse the entire economy of the United States. So it is very important. We do need to be tracking it. And as I always say, it is never the headlines that is really what is going on. It is beneath those headlines. It is reading between the lines that we need to do. So if this is the first time you are joining us, please subscribe, please like and comment down what you think. If you think I'm a complete moron, tell me that I am a moron. I'd love to have a conversation about why I'm wrong, where I'm wrong, and I think that gets us to the honest truth of what's actually going on. So if you think that this has nothing to do with China, let's have a conversation about that. But I'm here to tell you that reading the tea leaves, I really believe this is deterrence. I'm going to do more videos like this. They are going to be fairly unscripted. There's not going to be a lot of editing. So if you like that, if you appreciate the honesty, the authenticity, there's no AI in any of this, then please subscribe, please like, please comment so that this gets all over and that we can reach more people and we can build a community of truth seekers. That's really what I want to do here. And I think if you're watching this and you've made it this long, that's really what you want to do as well. So until the next time I post a video, stay safe, always be looking out, always question authority, question the media. Not everyone's lying to you, but for the most part, you are typically being lied to. So subscribe, follow along, tell your friends about this. Thank you for making it this long. You are the true hero if you made it to this point. And until next time, stay safe out there.